I think that's how we should start every episode.
Yeah.
How's it going, Glee? Episode 17 of Glee, Myself, and I.
America.
Eh.
Leader of the free world.
Yeah. What's up? Is the sun come out for you at all up in Sacramento?
You know what? I don't want to talk about it. You know, the index for the, for the air was over 400.
Wow.
And I went out to get a snow cone during that time. And 5 minutes of being out there, I got a headache, and that was not fun.
Was it worth it?
So I'm all pumped up on Tylenol and ibuprofen because guess what? Tylenol affects your liver. Ibuprofen affects your kidneys. You can double dose on them.
Double dose, balance it out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like, this is not medical advice, so, I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
So, consult your doctor. Because, like I said, I really don't want to get sued. I'm saving up for that PlayStation 5. I mean, I already have the money to buy it, but, I'm still saving up that money for that PlayStation 5.
Yeah, last thing you need is, like, something bad to happen, and then you got to spend that money on something else.
Yeah, I think I need, like, more Trump bucks so I can go and buy that PS5.
Yeah, when's the second stimulus coming?
Who the hell knows?
I don't know anything about the stimulus checks, next round of that, and the added benefits and whatnot.
Yeah, all these governors are saying that they're going to go and give us like $300. Well, not me, but people like you.
Unemployed, yeah, those that have been on unemployment due to COVID. Yeah, I thought I read. So I had been saying a lot that I thought Newsom was adding like an extra 200 or 300 to the federal benefits. It turns out I read that wrong. I kept telling you that. I was like, I swear I read that headline. I swear I read that article, but I didn't. But I also read, and this is for sure, that I think the benefits were supposed to go into effect like this week. Or last week, maybe.
Well, how about this? You go and let us know.
Well, how about we look it up, just for good. Let's really clear it up,
Yeah. How long do you think that's going to take you?
A second, I mean, like...
All right.
Just look up something like... this. Yeah. So... Payments, they started yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And then you look at things like this. It's like from the LA Times. I hit a paywall. But I'd be really interested. This is why it pisses me off about headlines not really either like representing something that's not the crux of the article or being just, misleading.
Yeah, click.
Like they shouldn't be allowed to do that if you have to pay to read the article.
Yeah, I hate
because this Los Angeles Times article says state starts sending extra $900 to unemployed Californians. What? Is that $900? Is that like the 3 weeks of $300 that we would have gotten like retroactively from the extra
Maybe.
benefits? That's
Probably.
what I'm guessing that is. But again,
Yeah.
I can't find out. I can't figure it out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, one thing I really hate about these little paywalls with clickbaity titles is, you know, you go and click on the article and you go like, oh, they're talking about that. You know, I got this information from a different source, and you know, I don't really need to pay this money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay for journalism. I turn on ad block. Journalists hate me.
Well, I
But
mean,
if only
a lot
if
of
only
the
there
good
was like a site.
journalists,
What?
a lot of the good journalists just like they're on like Substack, what is it, and things like that, where it's a subscriber based, like independent, like they're writing their own stories. Sometimes like some good journalists will contribute pieces to like Rolling Stone or to the Atlantic or something like that,
Yeah.
but they make their money independently. I don't give a shit if the LA Times doesn't make money or if the New York Times doesn't make money, because that's not. I mean, there's a lot of good journalists that are a part of that, but overall, those institutions have like fallen out of popularity for good reason, and they get a lot of flack for good reason. They're too partisan, and
Yeah.
the fact that a lot of the main newspapers and main news channels are all monopolized, it's like, what do you expect? You know? And I think when something's that monopolized, it's like, do you really need our money at that point?
I know.
I don't know.
Do we really need an entirely new site that's going to just be the same as these other sites?
Oh, like a free version of these guys?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you need to not only get rid of the paywall. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think that things are just going to kind of fall independently, because I don't see like a major news institution like overthrowing the New York Times or something like that, you know. Maybe over time people will flock to more reputable, like nonpartisan, objective news sources.
Yeah.
But one, I think people who are absorbing news by reading it are already ones that have like, you know, they're the ones that are already subscribed to those sites. You know what I mean? There's a good chunk of them, especially, you know, like people over like 50 who lean left, old. They watch MSNBC and they read the New York Times. You know, like I'm thinking, I guess, along the lines that maybe it's just a trend that'll kind of die out, reading the New York Times and the Washington Post and things like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they change. Maybe they somehow change, but I don't know.
I think overall, I think clickbait titles definitely harm their website in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
You know, harm these news organizations in the long term, because people will just go like, oh, it's just a clickbaity title.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I even bother clicking on it? It's like with BuzzFeed. That used to be like the most clickbaity stuff back in the day, right?
Dude,
Was it BuzzFeed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
still
And
is.
it was like, yeah. And eventually I just got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I already know where this is going, and I just ignore it.
Yeah, I mean, BuzzFeed, I think the one thing that keeps it afloat is the idea that a lot of people that have broken big stories, like go through that. Like BuzzFeed, I want to look up stories BuzzFeed is broke on.
Yeah. Isn't BuzzFeed different from like BuzzFeed News?
Yeah. So I think we're
Yeah.
talking about BuzzFeed News, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, but BuzzFeed even is kind of clickbaity.
Yeah, they're kind of known for oh, you know what I was thinking of? The dossier, the P-tape dossier.
Oh yeah, that ended up being fake.
Fake. I don't know. I don't know, man.
You have Comey, who,
Now,
you know,
okay,
what?
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. No,
go
no,
ahead, John.
no. What I wanted to say was, yeah, well, maybe that particular instance proved fake, but the idea of a P tape or that somebody had something on Trump would not be surprising, especially when we've talked about Epstein all these last months. And what makes you think that like a thuggish leader of a country isn't going to have like the same kind of like crap on notable people? So I guess I just don't want to go ahead and be one of those people that says, well, that was fake. Because I really wouldn't be, like, I know this is probably like loses some integrity here, but like if anybody's going to have a P tape, it's going to be Donald Trump. Sounds about right, doesn't it? It just adds up. There's something about it. The golden hair for the golden shower kind of thing. In the golden bathroom. Just, you know.
I guess when you put it like that, you know, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But didn't they start, you know, releasing that information, the P-tape dossier and stuff like that?
Oh, before it was confirmed?
No, well, before it was confirmed, but before Trump even got elected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a week or two before his inauguration. On January 10th, 2017. Yeah. CNN reported on the existence of classified documents that claimed Russia had compromising personal and financial information about Donald Trump. Trump and Obama had both been briefed on the content of the dossier the previous week. I know that they probably were not briefed on it together, but something about the way they worded it here on Wikipedia makes it sound like they sat right next to each other. I could just see like Obama looking at Trump going like, I don't know if it's true or not, man, but fucking if it is, shit, man. He? What? Obama lights a cigarette? I can't get over that. But yeah, BuzzFeed News said the dossier was unverified and includes some clear errors. The dossier had been read widely by political and media figures in Washington and previously been sent out to multiple journalists who had declined to publish it as unsubstantiated. The next day, Trump responded calling the website a failing pile of garbage during a news conference. And the publication of the dossier was also met with criticism from, among others, CNN reporter Jake Tapper, who called it irresponsible. BuzzFeed News editor-in-chief Ben Smith defended the site's decision to publish this dossier. Of course they did. They're just trying. It was just. That was such a thing to just try to take back. Like the election happened, and for the next 4 years, all we wanted to do was just backtrack.
Yeah.
To undo it. We looked back instead of forward. And it was crap like this that just totally like delegitimized a lot of criticism for Trump.
Exactly.
I mean, there's still a lot of criticism. I just think that the criticism is always pointed at the wrong things.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw this during when Trump was being impeached by Congress, where he's like, look, they were trying to get on me even before I was elected. Making shit up and stuff like that, trying to even talks of impeachment before he was even elected. And, you know, that just delegitimized everything, and obviously that's why he was not removed from office.
And, you know, I mean, the saddest thing was that if Democrats were so, you know, for doing the right thing, they would have learned not to really take that approach, because Obama met the same kind of like opposition.
Yeah.
Like the backdoor meeting or the closed door meeting of like McConnell and other prominent senators and members of the House saying like, we're not going to let this guy pass anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you think that happens, and everybody was like, oh, no, God forbid, no. What? And yeah, it was wrong. It fucked up the nation. And the next 8 years were very unproductive in terms of getting things through Congress. And it already had been.
So it was more like 6 years, because remember, Democrats
there were 2 years for Democrats. That's right.
Yeah.
2010 to 2012.
Yeah. Or no.
08 to 2010.
08 to 2010.
Or 09 to 2011, whatever you want to look at it. Right. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Like, there's no accountability. It's so tribal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's BuzzFeed. How did we get on that? We were talking about journalism and shit.
Well, we were talking about clickbait and stuff like that.
Clickbait. Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
And how clickbait delegitimizes a a news outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Because, like I said, I go and see these clickbaity titles, and I'm like, oh, it's from that. It's from these people, this news organization. Well, I already know it's fake stuff that doesn't even relate to the article.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so interesting too, because like, in terms of misinformation, there's like a whole spectrum of it, you know? There's like minor biases throughout articles, or it ends up being just an assertion or a claim that's completely wrong and based off of bullshit. And like, people have almost kind of come to accept, because there's a spectrum, people have almost kind of come to accept like misinformation that's like less on the scale of misinformation.
Yeah.
But still content that 15 years ago, like in the journalist community, it would have been like completely frowned upon publishing.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when you talk about things like BuzzFeed and whatnot, I mean, like, BuzzFeed was condemned, as I read, but it seems like BuzzFeed kind of started ushered in a new kind of era of reporting. Now, I don't know if I can, off the top of my head, think of an instance like that where it was so unsubstantiated, which I guess is the word. But BuzzFeed, man. I mean, like, look at these. What else was here? They broke the Kevin Spacey sexual misconduct story and the Michael Cohen story about the
Stormy Daniels.
The one about the Trump Tower in Moscow.
Mm.
Yeah, to lie about the timing of the deal to build the Trump Tower in Moscow to Congress. But Robert Mueller disputed that report on January 19, calling it not accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it was another thing that ended up, like, even the Bulldog, you know, the guy that everybody thought was going to go out there and get Trump.
Yeah.
That was enough. That was the ultimate, that was the thing that just made me really sad. Like, when the Mueller report ended up being a nothing burger, I was like, what happened to this country? That was like a wake-up moment for a lot of people.
Really, because for a lot of people, they went and took the Mueller report and said, oh my goodness, this stuff is so terrible. And then Republicans were like, look, there's nothing there. Trump's innocent.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was that Mueller was going to find collusion between Trump and Russia.
Yeah, and he found nothing.
Yeah, he didn't find anything.
The only thing that he could really find was, what do you call it?
Was that the Donald Trump Jr. emails?
No, it was the, what do you call it? Like when you're, like doing something you're not supposed to when something's being investigated.
Disclosure?
No, it's like a crime.
Classified? It's a crime. Okay, yeah. I like this game. To disclose something. God, what's that called? Disclosing a piece of classified information, right?
No, not disclosing a piece of classified information. I'm like, you're obstructing justice. Bam.
Perjury, right?
Yeah. Perjury, obstructing justice. You know, that's basically the only thing he could really get Trump on.
Right.
And nothing really about, and you know, Trump's people as well on. Nothing really about Russia.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's just seemed to be also that kind of attitude that regardless if, like, don't you think that if a very successful or powerful person tried to collude with a pretty like adversarial government, that they would do a pretty good job of covering up their tracks too?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, here, let's look at it from this point of view. When Trump announced his run for presidency back in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
everybody thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And his viewership for his show went up.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? The Apprentice?
Well, I thought it was already
Celebrity
like,
Apprentice. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Viewership for his show skyrocketed. And then everybody thought it was a joke. And I'm sure he probably was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna win.
Yeah, he didn't think he was gonna win.
Yeah. And then he won.
Anyway, he made a joke of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Which seemed like the Republican Party did it to themselves.
Well, they deserved it.
Yeah, they did.
I was still pretty pissed off about what they did to Ron Paul.
You want to clarify just for any listeners?
Just like I'm kind of pissed off about what they did to Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. And not to mention Bernie Byrne.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking specifically about those two because they won delegates, but they weren't allowed to speak at their respective conventions.
Yeah, isn't that kind of wacky? But you know that Tulsi Gabbard is like no way gonna bend for that crap. Like she would have to, like, you'd have to basically bow down to Clinton to speak at the DNC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for her, she was gonna go and support the Democratic nominee no matter what. She signed a piece of paper saying so. But, the question is, yeah, you can go and support Biden, but what else are you going to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, I don't think Ron Paul would have supported
Trump?
Mitt Romney.
Romney?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like Ron Paul was just kind of...
I think it would have just, talked about liberty and stuff like that.
What's happened to this country? Hey guys.
Man, I just love watching debates where someone just owns the other candidate.
It's funny because you saw that with Ron Paul and you saw it with Bernie Sanders calling attention to the fact that half the issues the Democrats talk about is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the only guy that actually succeeded doing that was Trump.
Yep.
And that's just an unlucky draw, I think. That you had three options to really kind of shake up the typical electoral process, regardless of the fact if either of those three guys are going to actually switch things up. And we drew the worst one.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. That's a damn shame, dude. But what's going on? What was on your mind this past Labor Day weekend?
Oh, the smoke.
The smoke? Still?
Yeah, especially today. Today, it was super bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the air index was a couple years ago, but it was really bad today.
They probably have pretty available data on that.
Yeah, they probably do. Anyways, there's a north wind here in California, and all the fires are kind of up north and everything, and it's just blowing in all that smoke.
Dude.
When I saw in the forecast that there was going to be a wind, I thought, oh, maybe it will be a western wind. What do you call it? A marine wind? No. Delta breeze. That's what you call it. Nice little Delta breeze because, it was like a little over 100. Or actually, it was a lot over 100 these past few days. It was just super hot.
Yeah.
And, I go and see wind in the forecast, and I'm like, oh, maybe it will blow out the smoke.
Yeah.
Nope, it just blowed it right in.
Blew it right in, and also freaking add wind to fires, and you got catastrophe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a huge issue. Just winds. Yeah, there's so many different types of like wind patterns in California.
Yeah. Another thing is, apparently a big, huge fire got started during a gender reveal party.
I heard that was the biggest piece of evidence for non-binary individuals. They're like, this is gender is destructive to the environment. I'm like, okay, you got me there.
I've always hated gender reveal parties.
Well, yeah, the gender
I always
parties
thought they were a waste of time.
It's like, all about me thing. It's not even about your kid. It's just It's baby shower 2.0.
Yeah, basically.
You know.
Why not just go like, oh, hey, look, it's a boy. You just tell all your friends, oh, look, I'm having a son.
It's just a hallmark addition to the pregnancy. It's just a hallmark addition to the 9 months.
Yeah.
It's like Valentine's Day or Father's Day or Mother's Day or something like that. Like, come on, those days should be 365. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, 9/11 is coming up, so I wonder if there's going to be any sales.
9/11 sales?
I believe they did some, a couple mattress places tried to do sales a couple times a couple years ago.
You won't believe these deals.
Yeah.
I know, we can go so many different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Well, right out of the sky.
There. Let's stop there. But yeah,
no need to go there.
Have some deals on 9/11, call it Remember Day, and bam, make a national holiday where you can go and buy.
You'll never forget these deals.
All right.
Never forget.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got on YouTube. I don't want to get banned off YouTube.
I hear you. But,
even though I don't even know who's watching our YouTube videos. Is anybody watching them?
Like 6 people raise their hands. How are they going to respond, Clee?
I don't know. Comment.
Like, subscribe, comment, share. The whole deal.
Yeah. Or thumbs down.
Let us know. Yeah,
because then at least we know you're there.
We just want to know your feeling.
Yeah, I just got to put this bad boy on Apple Podcasts. I've just been too...
dropping the ball there, Clee.
Yeah, well, you know what? At least I'm doing something.
I'm just sitting over here doing nothing.
Yeah, you're writing articles, putting them on your Google Drive, and posting them on Twitter.
When you break it down in such plain language like that, my life sounds really sad.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well,
this is what you gotta do, John.
Yeah.
You want to be famous on Twitter?
Not really.
Post some sexy pictures of yourself. The women love that.
I'm all right.
And some men will love that as well.
Okay.
And then you just start you just start, you press that little notification bell for Donald Trump tweets, and you just reply to him like that.
Fuck that. I feel like you have to. The only way you can get popular that way is if you just spout like the same old crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I feel like a guy like me is not gonna really like stand out in that way.
Yeah. Here's what I always see on the replies to Donald Trump tweets. It's always like, you're a fascist dictator, terrible person, or Trump is the God Emperor, he's the best, he should be dictator of America for life because he's so great.
Anybody, like, you just
Yeah, I knew.
you,
I was being very hyperbolic there, but
or I
for
mean,
both.
like, I think it's just people give credit, way too much credit to President Trump.
People
Calling him
give
a
way too
fascist.
much credit
You know,
the role
like,
of the presidency.
they just give him too much credit for like being this diabolical monster. But literally, all he does, and I read this in a good piece by Matt Taibbi last week or this past weekend, that because he, the whole sentiment that you give too much credit to Trump by calling him a fascist and like a diabolical leader with this evil plan. That's kind of a common opinion. I think that's been an opinion of mine for a while. But what Taibbi said is he furthered that idea by saying that really all Trump is a salesman. He's just trying to sell you on whatever topic he's talking about. It's not that he like went ahead and said, well, I'm going to do this to further me here. It's just he's trying to just sell something to you. He's selling you an idea. And so, like, his whole game is not pragmatic. It's not calculated. It's just impulsive and it's random. It's like the whole idea, like, this guy talks off the cuff. Like, it's kind of hard to be a, well planned out evil genius when you're just talking out of your ass half the time. Like, that just doesn't match up. Those characteristics are contrasting. So, yeah, he's too stupid to be like that. You know what I mean? He's too politically ignorant. I like when it comes to ideology and political strategy. It's just he's not smart enough to utilize that stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clay.
Sorry, I was thinking about prime numbers for while you're talking.
You were thinking of prime numbers while I was talking?
Yeah.
What?
Don't worry, I heard what you said.
What?
Trump's the salesman, and he's trying to sell you on stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes that stuff works, sometimes that stuff doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Shoot. But what were we just talking about?
Reply guys.
Yo, yeah, trying to get famous on Twitter. Yeah, I just, like I said, I just don't think that's gonna work. I'm not one of those people that's just gonna go out there and.
You're not one of those sellouts.
I'm not gonna just say some unoriginal idea that everybody says. I'm not gonna chant some rallying cry. That's just not really. I don't think that's my place. I don't want that to be my place.
Well, I mean, another way you could do it is you can go and put a little blue cap on your little Twitter. Go and show you're in the Yang Gang. And then you go and tweet at Andrew Yang. Go like, yo, Andrew Yang, I'm in the Yang Gang. Even though you ain't running for president, I'm still in the Yang Gang. Yang Gang for life, bro.
Yang Gang.
And he might retweet you. And then, because he does retweet like a couple of his followers.
Yeah, he retweets a lot. No, he's active on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
And he's got a real loyal following.
Yeah.
And even like a moderate following, like people that weren't necessarily part of the Yin Gang, but were like, you know what, that dude's looking forward. The guy's looking towards the future.
Yeah. So he retweets a lot of nobodies. So try and get on the Yang Gang.
He retweets a lot of nobodies. So maybe try that, you fucking loser. Well, thanks. I mean, like, for anybody listening, you guys can employ these ideas too.
Yeah, how to get famous on Twitter, guys.
That's what I do. I stay up late at night wondering, how the hell am I going to get famous on Twitter?
Well, I mean, I private my Twitter. I'm like, I don't give a shit about these people. I'm just reading shit. I don't give a fuck about these people. And I'm sorry I used the F word. This is like the first time I used the F word in this podcast, so please forgive me.
That's
podcast
crazy.
number 17 on September 8th, 2020.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to put the date out there.
You gotta just remind people, for context, where we're at.
Podcast 17, which is a prime number. So, yes.
Is that why you were talking about prime numbers? Or thinking about it?
Yeah. I was like, 17 is a prime number. Nice.
Damn, Clee. Clee, what's trending on Twitter? I feel like it's been
What is trending on
I feel like
Twitter?
whenever you come out of a 3-day weekend, it's just slow.
It is slow because you know what I did yesterday? I did homework.
You
know what I did the day before? I did homework. You want to know why I was doing homework those 2 days? Because I put it off until the last minute. See, I am not usually that kind of guy, but last week I just was.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah. So, obviously, people are talking about the Travis Scott meal at McDonald's.
Whoa, that is a sentence I never thought would come out of your mouth. Not the McDonald's part.
What, Travis Scott? I don't even know who Travis Scott is.
It's some man.
He's a rapper, right?
Yes, allegedly.
Yeah. I remember Fortnite did something with Travis Scott. I didn't play that because I was like, I'm done with Fortnite. But yeah. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, this is a good deal because my app said it was $5. But then once you get to the order page, it's $6. So, after I look at it, it's not that great of a deal. But essentially what you get is you get a quarter pounder with bacon on there. You get a medium fry and you get a soda for $6. Now,
Wow.
Is that a good deal? Well, I'll tell you something. You could get 2 quarter pounders for $6. So, you tell me. I think I'd rather have the 2 quarter pounders than a quarter pounder with bacon and medium fry and a soda. Although, maybe you liked the variety.
Dude.
But yeah, that's the big thing on Twitter right now.
Not exactly what I was expecting.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I technically just did an advertisement for.
Why do we like? If don't you think that if like people like we would get really angry if people started endorsing cigarettes? Why the fuck are we all happy about like one of the biggest musical artists for some reason? I don't really follow that music. Like endorses a Happy Meal basically, or whatever it is. Why is that okay? Because it's like, I don't know, doesn't Travis Scott have a lot of influence? Like he's got, his music fans, like he's got Fortnite fans and shit like that. He's like all over the place. Like, I feel like there are a lot of people, he's like one of those guys that is so out there in all these different ways and commercials and advertisements and promotions and things like that, that there's a lot of people that would be able to recognize his name, but they wouldn't really be able to tell you what he does. And I guess...
Wait, so is he a singer?
Yeah, he's like a rapper.
Yeah, okay, so I was right.
So there's that, but then there's also the point that I wanted to get to first, which is, why are we like all of a sudden okay? Like people, one of the things that has really erupted in the last couple of months with demonstrations around the country is people are like fed up with the idea of capitalism. And yet we celebrate these like celebrities that, and I feel like we got into this last time when a political figure like endorses a product or something, or if we buy certain products based on the opinion of those products. You know what I mean?
Like the Goya, whatever the other place
Goya
was.
thing, there was
Good Day.
We were talking about In-N-Out, and we were talking about, there's also the thing with like some oat milk ice cream recently. That was the whole point. It's just like silly stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so like we have this whole anti-capitalist like sentiment. Yet every time people like fall into the like more appealing aspects of capitalism, and when I mean that kind of appealing, I mean like aspects of it that kind of go over our heads, like advertising. We're like, we see somebody we like, and we're like, oh, look at that, that's a cool ad. Like that's a good ad. It's good advertisement. You know, like that's just you're getting played. Like people don't realize they're getting played. So people like mock it, except in these instances, and these are the instances where you really need to mock it because they're just trying to play people, and they're getting this. Like you think Travis Scott eats McDonald's? That guy's ripped. You know?
Donald Trump eats McDonald's.
Well, I don't know what else people need to know then.
Bill Clinton used to eat McDonald's.
You see, there's a video. What was it? Oh, I don't know what the video was, but it was some clip that surfaced recently not surfaced, but I think the Clintons posted it.
Yeah.
It was like Hillary and Bill like ranting about something. I think about Russia and the election upcoming.
Yeah.
It was like last week. And the video has like Hillary Clinton and like Bill Clinton in the background. And Hillary's just like, just like being like, this is Russia, blah, blah, blah. This, and like up in arms. And then Bill Clinton's just kind of here going, I've had a really rough couple of months.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That happened, a couple days ago?
Yeah, I think this past weekend or late last week.
Yeah.
I love that clip because I think it kind of explains where those two are at. Like Hillary clearly hasn't gotten over her path to the presidency or her supposed path to the presidency. And Bill Clinton's just trying to like stay out of the public eye.
You know, speaking of Hillary Clinton, she went and told Joe Biden not to concede too early.
Right.
And the thing is, everybody's like worrying about if Trump's gonna not concede.
Yeah, well, that whole thing plays on the idea that the mail-in ballot thing, you know, like it's gonna take a while to get a final tally. And I think there's, like, if you remember in 2016, Hillary Clinton didn't concede till the next day.
Well, she conceded really, really late that night, but she didn't really give her concession speech until...
Right, she didn't give a concession speech. I think, I don't remember what, like, DNC figure, like Tom Perez or Rahm Emanuel or something, like, on the 2016 election night came out, you know, that would have been where Clinton gave her concession speech, you know, in New York to the group of people. And he just, whoever the DNC...
I think it was John Podesta.
John Podesta, that's who it was. Came out and was like, okay, just go home, get some sleep, we'll figure this out, yada, yada, yada. Just bullshitting people.
Yeah, well, I mean, she didn't even write a damn concession speech.
Because she didn't have one ready?
Yeah. No, because she thought she was going to win. You look at all the polls.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Hillary Clinton's going to win. And then you'll look at everything, and you look at everything's on CNN, Fox News, online. You're looking at the map, and you're like, oh shit, shit, Hillary Clinton lost.
Dude, she did lose.
Yeah,
she lost. Didn't she lose Florida, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin?
I believe so.
The states where they're like, dude, she wins 2 out of 4 of them. She's probably got it.
She lost the Rust Belt.
Mm-hmm.
I think she lost Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she did. Well, let's look that up.
That's a big boy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the polls earlier today, and I think Trump's going to win Florida. Easily. Yeah. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people from Cuba, a lot of Cuban refugees that live in Florida. And these refugees, they came from, you know, Fidel Castro, who is a communist. You have all these protesters waving. Well, now they're waving the Black Lives Matter flag, but up in Portland, they're waving the Antifa flag, waving communist flag, and they see that and they're like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna vote. I don't think I'm gonna vote for the Democrats. I think I'm gonna vote for the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I believe. That's why I believe Florida is definitely going to Trump.
Mm-hmm. And Florida, just to be clear, yes, it did go for Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
It wasn't projected to, funnily enough. They have these two maps. They have this map that before the election, they have the likely to win, or like the projected map.
Yeah.
And this projected map had Hillary Clinton projected to win Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. And the only one that she won of that was Minnesota.
Yeah, there's even talks about Minnesota going for Trump this time, but I haven't really seen enough polls to really.
I don't know. Minnesota's pretty left, like consistently.
Yeah.
They're very, like, I don't know. I mean, and plus I don't know. I feel like any Minnesota, Wisconsin, Oregon. I mean, I think Oregon will go left no matter what, but like the places where the big clashes in the streets are, that's where it's interesting. Like, I don't know. I'm tired of just talking about how much I distrust polls, but then kind of talking like a pollster, Like that's the just constant cycle of polls.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, John.
You talk shit about a poll, and then you end up just like referencing the poll and thinking about the poll as hard facts, regardless.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, John, but an election's coming up.
Yeah.
Polls are going to have to be talked about.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's an interesting relationship. I read a tweet today from Bridget Fedesi that she doesn't trust. She was just in Arizona, and she doesn't trust that Biden's ahead or could win Arizona based on the amount of Trump banners and Trump yard signs and stuff like that.
The question is, where in Arizona was
she? What I was going to say, someone made a great point, because she was like, I just can't believe these polls if I keep seeing all these things. I know it's kind of anecdotal, but... And people were like, yeah, it's the same thing in Texas. Like, people are saying Texas is a swing state. You wouldn't guess it by being there,
Yeah.
Like, someone in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston are, like, the three major cities that would go left. Particularly San Antonio and Austin. And it's that kind of deal over there where you don't see a lot of support for Biden. Now, someone did make the point that you'll be in a traditionally Republican voting district, and therefore you'll be like less inclined to show your support for Biden. So it's just like, I guess that whole idea of the lean-in voter, like they'll tap the guy on the shoulder and then lean in and tell them they voted for Trump. I guess we're going to see how much of those there are out there again, because I guess elections aren't like polls show what they think is the majority, but elections lately have been proving that there's a silent majority, and you hear that silent majority idea thrown around a lot.
Yeah, especially on the right.
Yeah, right. But you see it from people on the left too, like silent majority in Arizona for Biden, or a silent majority in a traditionally right-wing state for Biden.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see. But quick question: this person was were they in Phoenix or?
I don't know. Arizona.
Just some.
I could double check, but I think it's just at Arizona.
Because if it's
Probably
in Phoenix,
Phoenix.
then you can go and say, I can, yeah, then that makes sense. They'll probably go for Trump. But if it's like in some smaller town other than Phoenix, it's like, well, it's a smaller town.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know how Phoenix is voting. They're voting for Biden.
Mm.
Just because they're a big city. Big cities tend to be liberal.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Did you see that Donald Trump posted a video of Joe Rogan?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Talking with Matt Taibbi about Biden.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that Joe Rogan was like, trending.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's trending because that whole thing with his podcast. The fact that Spotify is yet to upload a bunch of his episodes. Which is still weird, because I don't feel like I know anything about that. I don't think Rogan's come out on it.
So Joe Rogan made a deal with Spotify, and he's moving everything over to Spotify. And all his old podcasts will be on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But Spotify is not uploading those controversial ones.
Which, sounds like it was like something happened in the negotiation. Because when Rogan was talking about it with all sorts of different guests when it got announced, he was saying it's going to be the same old show. Nothing's going to be different. They want me to do it the same way I've been doing it. Like, it's just going to be that Spotify is the sole distributor of JRE content.
Yeah.
And then we forgot about this one condition, where now they can choose. I guess they can. I mean, it sounds like, I don't really know what the technical language is, but it sounds like by being the main distributor, like Joe Rogan can have a podcast recorded, a 4-hour podcast recorded, and Spotify can choose not to release it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's like, fuck that.
I mean, that's what happens when you make these kind of deals.
I guess.
This is a poor decision because, I think you could listen to Joe Rogan podcasts on Spotify. On Spotify before. Or was it just YouTube?
I think it was everything but Spotify. Like, it was available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, things like that. But I don't know if it was available on Spotify. Because I think Spotify has just recently gotten into podcasts in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, they did.
Because podcasts have blown up in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Hence why we started one.
Yep. Everybody else is doing it. And sometimes we have some very insightful conversations.
We're riding the wave of a zeitgeist. We get it. We know.
Yeah.
And we admit it because we know that we are putting out decent content.
Trust me. I go and look on...
Let's not talk trash, please. Don't say any names.
You know what? I'm going to talk trash because...
Just don't name any names. Talk some trash.
Okay, fine. I won't name any names.
Name some names. No, I'm just kidding.
You just told me not to.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
I was listening to this one podcast. I was just browsing around on Twitter and then, clicking on different people who, are getting a lot of likes. And I'm like, why are these people famous? Oh, they have a podcast. Oh, okay. Let's listen to it. And, I listened to it and I'm like, yeah, our podcast is not so bad compared to this podcast. And then you look at some other podcasts and you go like, this podcast is terrible, but they somehow get 10,000 followers. Why is that? We're talking about the same content. Well, not the same content, but similar content. But
It's kind of like amateur content. Like, it's not polished. It's not polished.
Yeah.
The content's not polished. Sorry, I think my can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just fine.
You're kind of...
I'll just start doing this again. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I think the microphone's on one side, the adult. So maybe I try to flip this around.
Yeah. Subscribe to our podcast. Let's get John a new microphone.
If someone could send to our Patreon $30, I'll get a microphone.
Yeah, I set up the Patreon, but I didn't really fully set it up yet, so.
Probably because it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really needed.
I don't think it's needed either.
Just DM me on wherever and ask for my Venmo, and then you can buy me a new microphone. Who wants to be my sugar daddy for my microphone?
Well, I was thinking more of like, subscribe to our podcast, because then we know people are actually, listening to it. In which case that would encourage us to go and spend our own money to go and buy a microphone.
Dad, I would want someone to just send me $30. Send me $300.
I'd rather have someone share the video than send us money.
I think you're being really selfish right now.
I think you're being very selfish right now. You're being very greedy. You are the pinnacle of the 7 deadly sins, John.
Of all 7?
Yeah, all 7.
Fuck. I don't know. I'm kind of skinny, though. I'm not really gluttonous.
Gluttonous does not mean you have to, be fat, John.
Yeah, that's true. Indulge upon things.
Yeah. Well, you get takeout like every day.
That's not true.
I know, but I'm
like, but probably too much. But I think you can say I get it too much.
Yeah. It's like, come on, if I could have McDonald's every day, that'd be great.
You could
get my little Travis Scott meal.
Dude. Did you say it was a bacon cheeseburger?
It was a bacon quarter pounder. Quarter pounder.
That's just like fucking. This is what's wrong with just the timing of everything. Too bad we didn't take this podcast up earlier. Then you became really famous, because you would be the perfect guy to promote a bacon cheeseburger. The Clee Bacon Cheeseburger by McDonald's.
I like fast food. I like the taste.
They got the McCafe. They could do the McClee.
Okay, I hate the McCafe. I go and drink one of their coffee drinks, and I'm like, this is weak.
Dude, but as a coffee drinker, their coffee's actually really tasty. They have good coffee.
I disagree. I one time got a coffee at McDonald's, and it just tasted watered down. It was an iced coffee.
I feel like iced coffee. I drink their it's black coffee. It's just
I don't like black coffee.
Not even with cream and sugar.
No, if I want to get caffeinated, I go to Dutch Bros. And Dutch Bros doesn't even need an advertisement. There are people that live in LA and they drive all the way down to Nevada, specifically Las Vegas, just to get Dutch Bros. And then they drive back to Los Angeles. That's called a day trip in LA.
I want to see where all the Dutch brothers in America are.
Yeah, if you can find that, that'd be nice.
Why don't you, in the meantime, tell us about your favorite Dutch brothers?
So my favorite Dutch Bros drink is the ER 911. I believe it's just called the 911 now. They changed their menu and they changed the name of the drink, but and they also changed the amount of shots you get in it. But you get a lot of shots in that drink.
Holy shit!
What?
There's Dutch Brothers all over the place, and there's Dutch Brothers closer than Las Vegas. Bakersfield has it. There's also one in fucking in Yuma, Arizona, which is kind of near the border of California.
Okay. Yeah, probably people truckers, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's right there on the 10.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
I remember driving on the 10. We were driving on the 10 that one time, right?
Yeah, but just to clear that up, the Yuma's not off the 10.
Oh, okay.
Else.
Yeah, one time John and I
we drove all the way from Sacramento to Phoenix. It was great.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the 10 East. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you're on the California highway, and then you go over to the Arizona highway, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is a nice highway. It's so much smoother.
It's because less people drive on it.
Oh,
It's probably also newer, and they probably have better funding for their infrastructure. Is that what you're getting to?
No, I think there's too much regulation for California infrastructure, specifically roads.
Dude, wait. I hate to interrupt you. There's a town in New Mexico called Truth or Consequences. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Okay, if anybody's listening to this and either knows someone in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, or lives or has lived there, we would love for you to contact us. Just want to know what that's like. So, yeah. But anyways, keep going with what you were going to go. There's a town called Anthony, New Mexico. Right on the border with Mexico.
Yeah, not surprised. That's a pretty common name.
Anthony, New Mexico.
Just like Jamestown.
Yeah. It's so funny that there's like a Dutch Brothers in every like major metropolitan area, except for Los Angeles and the Bay Area.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that Dutch Bros needs to address.
Because if Dutch Brothers just scattered them across Los Angeles, because they'd have to put a lot. They'd have to like do in and out style, like one in every municipality.
Yeah.
And they can make a ton of money, but they probably don't need it.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
If you guys want to get the best Dutch Bros deal, you gotta follow them on Facebook or Instagram.
No, Clee, you gotta tell them about your little pastime with Dutch Brothers. On your birthday or someone's birthday.
Yes. When it's someone's birthday or my birthday, this is what we do. We go to one Dutch Bros. And, you know, in my area, Dutch Bros, they're pretty much clustered together. So, you know, it's okay to do this. You're not, you know, spending too much time, depending on traffic. So you go to one Dutch Bros. You say, hey, it's my birthday. And, you know, sometimes they'll ask for your ID. Most of the time they will. And you show them your ID and they go like, oh, okay, happy birthday. And they give you a free drink. Now, if your Dutch Bros are all clustered together, you just go to the one that's like a couple miles down the street and you get another one. And then you get another one. And then you get another one. And before you know it, you have like five drinks. And if you have people in the car with you, well, guess what? I'm a very generous man.
Because you're not taking 5 drinks yourself, buddy.
Well, I mean, remember I told you the story about, you know, a couple people who went down to Las Vegas to get some Dutch Bros?
Okay.
Yeah, well, they went and got like a total of 10 drinks.
Really?
Yeah. You got 10 drinks, and then they drove them back and then put them in the refrigerator.
That's insane.
Yeah, well, you don't have to get the blended drink. You can get, like, the liquid drink.
Yeah.
Get light ice.
Clee.
You can store that.
This is the first edition of our new series of Clee shows you how to cheat your way through life.
All right. Fine. If we're gonna go and play the whole cheat your way through life, check out the next podcast where I will discuss how to make multiple email accounts and just get freebies everywhere.
Dude.
Speaking of freebies, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to use one of my many email accounts that I made. I think I'm going to get get a nice little birthday dinner or birthday breakfast at Black Bear one of these days.
Dude, you could totally do it.
Yeah, all I have to do is sign up for blackbear.com or blackbeardiner.com or whatever their website is.
Yeah.
Sign up to be on the birthday list, and then you get pancakes, you could get
egg, sausage, and toast, I think.
Yeah, egg, sausage, and toast. No, you don't get toast. Sorry, John.
What?
Get eggs and sausage. Or you can go, instead of getting pancakes, you can get waffles. Or you can get biscuits and gravy.
What do you like to get?
I like the biscuits and gravy. However, the last time I got it with my free birthday gift, it wasn't that great.
Well, Clay, you know what you just kind of did in the last minute or two? You just kind of ruined your chances for next episode's explanation. Because now you've said too much. Like, what have you left out about that? You just said you're making multiple email accounts to get free stuff on your birthday. Like, that's the crux of it. So you've now just given 2 installments of our new series in one episode.
Shit,
You're just handing these out for free.
Yeah, because I'm a free kind of guy.
Okay.
I'm an open source kind of guy. I like that open source. Give me that open source.
Oakley.
You like open source, John?
Open source what?
Anything. Open source software, open source
I don't
ideas.
know I don't know what open source software is.
And I'm guessing
since that's
it's like
the first thing
Linux
you said,
or LibreOffice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, Clay, I mean, I think we covered a lot here for not there being a lot.
Yeah. This is episode 17 of the podcast, which is a prime number. Remember that.
Don't forget.
Remember your prime number, kids.
Give them a quick lesson.
Don't flunk in school.
There you go. You heard it from
Because
Khalid.
if you flunk in school, I'll come to your house, and I'll make you regret flunking in school.
Okay, maybe don't threaten a kid.
Well, you know what? Chances are a kid's not listening to this podcast. Chances are it's an adult. So,
okay.
I know exactly who I'm looking at. I know who you are. And if you fail that one class you don't want to do, but that one class you have to do, I'm gonna go and just go off on you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Clee, I think we're signing off.
I think I kept that pretty vague.
I think you kept it brief and vague and beautifully worded, and wow.
And not a threat. Not a threat.
There you go. All right.
Check out John's articles on Twitter at Huxley Did Nothing Wrong. Or I should say Huxley was spot on.
There he goes. I like Huxley Did Nothing Wrong. That sounds good. I might change it to that, but it's the other one.
Wait, can you change it?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think there's a way. I got to do it for mine, and then I just got to shitpost everybody.
Dude, you should just make another account.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about making another Twitter account because the other one got banned.
Do a satirical account. We'll promote that.
All right, we'll do that.
Right on, Clee. Okay, well, we're looking forward to everything in our next podcast. Should be soon.
Yeah. You want to give us what we're going to talk about in our next podcast? You want to give everybody a little preview?
I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. Here's the thing with our podcast.
Isn't that the fun of it?
We kind of like say, all right, let's talk about this, that, and that. All right. Okay, cool. Let's start the podcast.
Yeah, we kind of. Well, I mean, we try
It's pretty unorganized.
We try to just have open conversation.
Yeah, you're thinking about that open source software.
I was about to say it because you were saying it earlier.
Get yourself LibreOffice.
The idea is to have open conversation. Right. The idea is to have open conversation that's relevant to today, that people can listen along with and feel like they're part of the conversation. And that's why kind of going in an unorganized fashion makes it more natural. And we hope you think so. And I think, Clee?
Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on... what else do we have?
I think you got it all, man. Soon to follow us on Apple
TikTok.
Podcasts.
We got TikTok.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, for all you Zoomers out there.
Yeah.
John, I'm looking at you.
You joke. All right, folks. Later.
Bye.